Being more of who you already are is the best niche that you're ever going to be in. So in this episode, we're going to show you how you can build a brand in 2026, more specifically how we would do, and a few of the things that we have done in our business in order to build our brand and brand awareness. And I think it's a very important topic.
I think what's hard for a lot of people right now is the shift between where it used to be that it was a lot of how to and sound wise and sound right and stuff like that and be super edited or... and stuff like that, where we in 2026, we want kind of the opposite. We want to follow along on your journey.
Yeah.
We want the raw, like authentic thing, what's going on, who you are, not less edited, less fake.
Yeah, and I remember I started with public speaking about 10 years ago. And I remember the role or the kind of person I became when I was supposed to get on stage. I think everyone goes through it, more or less, in some way. That you're putting on a persona that isn't you. Your idea of what you should look like on stage becomes a theatric display of what you believe you should look like. Yeah. I got away with it because people saw that I made an effort and I was practicing. I did free lectures, which means that I didn't charge for my free lectures. And it was presentations of X, Y, or Z. Some of them were business ideas. Some of them were other stuff. Often very small rooms, which in itself is very hard because it's so much easier speaking for 200 people than it is speaking for 5 people.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to go out and say that I'm a great public speaker. And the reason why is because I am good enough. The moment I believe that I'm great, then that's the end of progression. I'm never going to get better than that. The reason why it's good when it's good, it's because I literally don't care what I look like. The only thing that I'm focused on is how can I build enough simplicity in what I'm about to say so that when I say it, they are being entertained by hearing it and they are able to receive what I'm giving. That's my only focus. The only thing that is missing in your brand is your voice.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are sounding the same because the strategies we've been hearing about the last couple of years is go in, copy what everyone else is doing, find someone, copy what they do, and do the same copy. And which means that everyone starts sounding the same, say the same thing, and say it in the same way. So it becomes copied scripts, same formula for everyone. And formulas are good because it's a structure. Following a formula is for keeping on track and having a plan, a structure to follow, so it's becoming easy and it's being done. But we want to make sure we don't start sounding like someone else because we fall flat every time we try to sound like someone else.
You're never going to be able to bear it. So I see it so much in people who've done life coaching or personal coaching and then they make a transition into business coaching. They can facilitate the conversations on the surface. But the moment anything happens, the moment they get a question they weren't expecting, or as the moment we dig into the conversation slightly, there is no depth to it. There is no lived experience. There is nothing behind the words that is being said. And that is the most vital feedback that we can get. If it doesn't have depth, if you can't explain it from several different angles, and if you don't have enough depth to understand what it really, really means and why you're saying the things that you're saying. Because I can give 10 different versions of step-by-step on how to build a coaching business in 2026. The reason why I can do 10 is because I've built it. I've lived it. I know what the emotional experience is like. I know what the psychological experience is like. I know what the physical experience is like. I know all of it. So that is what I can build and base my brand on. But you need to be able to go further than just being able to have a surface level conversation. So when you have that foundation, then you're able to start building a brand. And you have that depth. You don't need more. You just need to look towards your own experience.
So there's some key things to focus on. I think you said one of them a lot of times, and I want to dig into that, and that's lived experience.
Yeah.
So the lived experience is quite simple and I believe quite hard at the same time. Quite simple in the way that you just do the things and share about them. Quite hard because psychologically we don't believe that it's that interesting what we do.
Yeah.
Or I don't do anything interesting, or I'm not good enough. And who wants to see like the self-judgment?
Yeah.
Is probably the hardest part about that part. But What is it about? It's about lived experience. It's about giving more of yourself.
Yeah.
Sharing more of your personal stuff in your content. I see this especially for people who are coming in as consultant or coming in for more corporate.
Yeah.
People who come from corporate going into the coaching industry, they struggle harder with this part because they're so trained in branding, marketing, like corporate marketing. And this is so different.
It's very different to build a personal brand compared to a brand.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different. When we say personal brand, we mean personal brand.
Yeah.
It's personal.
Yeah.
It's about giving more of yourself, not that edited version, like what needs to be said and this right marketing jargon, but literally your words and what's going on. That's the thing. And being able to combine that with what's in it for the listener.
Yeah.
What's in it for the person, for my avatar who's listening to that.
Yeah, and
but
it's
coming
also,
from a personal place, that makes you unique. No one live your life.
No, and when it comes to you starting the journey of discovering how you want to be perceived or what you want to give away, you don't need to be dramatic about the different personalities that you have, but you can start to recognize the different roles that you step into. So I'm definitely different in this podcast compared to when I'm teaching my clients or doing coaching, or I'm different persons all over. But it still comes from the same character. And when we start recognizing our character, we can start playing with the volume buttons on the different emphases. Yeah. I mean, you're very, very strong with system structures and creating models and stuff. I am very strong with understanding the experience, the mental game, the psychology of it. I'm also very strong when it comes to building rapport, connecting with people, influencing. So here's my point. When we start to realize that, okay, cool. So I know that I have a strong empathetic ability. So when it's needed, I can turn up the volume on that empathetic ability to help people see me for who I am, because it isn't fake. When I say that I see you and I care for you and I understand what you're going through, I've been there. And then we have a conversation about something, people can actually lean in and understand that, okay, this is coming from not just the words that he's saying, but it's coming from some depth, which means the moment gets real. And I can do that in different ways in meetings and the podcast. I can do it in marketing. I can do it in shorts. I can do it in long form content. I can do it wherever. I have a different ability to be able to break down a strategy. So when you're building your brand, it's not going to get flat because you're one person and you're stiff figure. You have a lot of depth. But you need to dare to kind of release it. Yeah. Give people a sense or an idea of who you actually are.
Yeah. It's close connected to step number 2, which is the how I. If we look into marketing a year ago, and we had all of the hooks, that was a lot of how-to hooks and how you get this, or 5 mistakes you do, because we want to have the lived experience into our content way more in marketing today. It's more how I did this thing, how I managed this, the 3 biggest mistakes I made that held me back from this. So how I instead of how to. Yeah. If you do that into your content today, you already fixed a big part of how you think in your content. Yeah. Then we have the third part, and that is the proof content. We all know about, we need to share stories, case studies, and all of that to show proof. Yeah. But a big part today, since trust is also lacking, it's also showing proof, showing more of the things, like giving more insights. We are giving away a lot of our GPTs here, and I'm going to add here the uncopyable brand guide down below. There's even a GPT in there, but there's a completely brand guide to have an uncopyable brand, unique brand.
And if you're listening to this and you need to be sold a little bit more, then the only thing that I can say is that use it. Yeah. And then make a decision whether it was good or not.
Yeah. So when it's showing proof, it's more showing numbers, showing the thing you talk about. So it's for real. Because today, what we learned last year is that AI can come up with a lot of great shit. But that's what we learned, that there's so much that is fake out there. So when you have something for real, prove it. It's for real. Show it. Yeah. Show the thing. So we can show more of the things we work on. It's also personal, what works for you, because we can tell you a lot of different things, but also look into what's working. So track your content, track what actually get engagement, what is people really interested in, and do more of that. Double down on what works for you.
Yeah. Back in 2016, I invested in a marketing agency The thing that they came out with was, these are your brand colors, this is the clothes that you should be wearing, and these are the words that you need to sprinkle into your lectures, your communication, both in writing and in videos and in ads and in blah, blah, blah. If you're looking at branding from that kind of perspective, then that's a step number 2 or 3. It makes no sense at all if you aren't real to begin with.
No, but we don't want to take down, because the overall how you look and feel is important, especially on some platforms more than others. But it's more for recognition, right?
Yeah.
So I immediate, because people are scrolling, so it's more for being able to spot, oh, that's you immediately. So we have
100%.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to look, it doesn't need to be made by a professional.
No.
It's not significant.
No, it's not.
It's about consistency.
Yeah.
That you show up the same way again and again and again, so people can start recognizing that, that's this again.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah, you don't need to spend $500,000 on a brand guide from a big agency. So we just saved you $500,000 now. So
yeah, and in Sweden we have a payment system called Swish. You can swish me.
Swish us a little bit for that advice. We just saved you a lot.
No, building an uncopyable brand is all about you being more of who you are.
Yeah.
And people deserve to see the full extent of who you are as a character.
Yeah.
And building a business is a lot like taking your heart out, feeling it pulsing, and then putting it on the table for everyone to see, and then make sure that you do your work out of the beating heart of yourself.
And don't expect to have everything perfect. It takes time to find your voice, and it takes time to feel what's the right thing for you and what works for you. You need to have a little bit of resilience in brand building.
If you feel like you need inspiration, one of the quickest way that you can help yourself to find that kind of voice for yourself is not copying, but moduling. But it boils down to more you, less anything else, and no one will ever be able to copy you. No one will be able to take it away, and you will build a raving fan audience 1,000 times, if not 1,000,000 times faster than if you avoid being more of you.
So if you like this episode, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.